join
This
us.
conference will now be recorded.
Alex,
sorry about that.
You're good.
Go ahead.
You're all good. Alex is our sales principal for Oregon, and then I've also invited Rob to join us. Rob is our market principal, and Rob is right in your market of Bend, Oregon. So great contacts for you guys. So I'm going to go over today. I'm going to do a Picasso overview. How Picasso works, explain our co-ownership model to you guys. And then I'm going to cover how you as an agent can work with us. And lastly, I'm going to give you some call to actions. So let's go ahead and get started. So Picasso is the modern way to own real estate, a second home these days. So our mission is quite simple, and we really live by this. This mission is to enrich lives by making second home ownership possible and enjoyable for more people. If you could advance, that'd be great. So this top slide is, a picture of some of our executive team. So the point of really sharing this with you is to let you guys know as agents, when you're working with clients, that Picasso is a very well-funded, well-managed company full of a lot of tech vets. So Austin Allison is one of the co-founders and our CEO. He started Loop. And then another co-founder who sits on our board is Spencer Raskoff, who before he started Zillow, he started Hotwire. So just, I think it's important to touch on that as you work with your clients, because your clients might say, well, how do I know that this company is reputable or is going to be around tomorrow? And so I just think it's important for you guys to know that we are a very well-funded, well-managed company. The second slide there, the bottom slide, just go over real quick some of the hurdles that people have when it comes to owning a second home. There is that whole home cost, which can be very expensive. It's kind of a headache to own a second home when you already have a primary home that you're trying to manage. So we put together this this co-ownership model. Now, this isn't a new model per se. People have been doing it with family members and friends for quite a long time now, but it can be hard to set up, and it also can have that emotional aspect of it because you know the people that you're going into this home with. So if you could go to the scroll down, thank you, Linnea. So how does Picasso work? So I'm going to talk about our model. So what we do is we seek out properties in popular second home destinations. You can see that on that second, oh, that's not that side, sorry. So once we purchase that home, and it has to fit some criteria that I'll cover in a little bit, but once we purchase that home, we do mark it up 12%, and we're very transparent about that. If you go onto our website and hone in on a property, you'll actually see what we purchased that home for, what the markup is, and then what a 1/8 share costs. But after we do that, we put that home into an LLC. So each home has its own LLC, and then we break it up into 8 shares. So then somebody interested in co-owning that home can purchase 1/8 of a share up to half of that home. Once we sell all of the shares inside that property, we no longer have any ownership in it, but we do continue to manage that property. So there is a monthly management fee that includes taxes, insurance, a maintenance fee. There is a $99 Picasso fee inside of there, housekeeping, everything to really keep that home in the current pristine condition that it's in. There is no markup on that monthly management fee. Just so you guys know, it is simply a pass-through. All of our homes are, like I said, completely managed. They are decorated. They have everything that an owner would need in order to stay at that home in regards to bedding and linens and towels and everything in the kitchen. It's very well stocked. We do some decorating as well to each home. There is a resale process, so everyone always asks, and they want to be able to share with their clients an exit strategy. So we do ask our owners to hold on to their share for a year, and then after a year, they can go ahead and sell their share. So it's a very easy resale process for them. We also do have financing available. So we have a relationship with First Republic Bank, and that will allow your clients to finance up to 70% of the home, which is great. So again, if you're on our website and you've honed into a particular property, we actually have a calculator on there where you can say, if I were to own 1/8 of a share, how much would that be if I put, 50% down, and what are the monthly costs? And it will tell you the nut of what that's going to cost you on a monthly basis. So it's super helpful for your buyers. Next slide, please. All right, so I want to cover this, how we are not a timeshare, because I think this is extremely important. So when you own a Picasso, it's true home ownership. Each owner is given a deed that resides inside of the LLC. When you have a timeshare, you're essentially purchasing time in a hotel or a condo with hundreds of other people. When you're purchasing a Picasso home, there is only up to 8 owners inside that home. Our average is between 6 and 7 because somebody usually purchases a quarter of a share. But again, it's true ownership. So if you decide to sell after a year, at any point after a year, if there's any appreciation that is built into that home, that appreciation will be the owners. So I just want to make sure that you guys understand that we're not a timeshare at all. We also do not allow our owners to rent their time out of our home either. So no rental opportunities for our owners. And if you scroll down just a titch, I wanted to cover the easy scheduling. So we have created an app, our Smart Stay app, and this allows all the owners inside that particular home to schedule their time in the home. So they can schedule 2 days up to 24 months in advance. So let's just take a look. If somebody purchases 1/8 of a share of a home, they can be in that home for up to 44 nights per year. They can have 6 reservations going at one time. One of those reservations can be a major holiday, and then a reservation can be up to 14 nights long in duration. So if somebody then purchases a quarter, basically all those numbers double. Or if they purchase half of the home, which is the most that they can purchase, then those numbers double again. So this is a very easy and equitable way for people to schedule their time that they want to be in the property. Next slide, please. So just a list of some of the destinations. We are in over 30 destinations across the world. We did launch Marbella, Spain in November, which we're really excited about. Sold out of that house, and we have another one in our Marbella. But some of the places that this kind of needs to be updated a little bit, but this quarter, in addition to launching in your area of beautiful Bend, we are also looking at Maui, Scottsdale, and earlier this month we also launched in Hilton Head, South Carolina. So we're super excited about our expansion for growth. So if you can kind of skip through that next slide, because it's basically working with Picasso. So this slide here with the 3 points is now I'm going to touch on how you as agents can work with us. So number one, we can work with your buyers. So you can get a 3% referral commission on any of our homes. So you've got great homes in Bend, but if somebody comes to you and says, hey, I'm looking at, I'd love to own a second home in Vail or Aspen or South Florida, we can help you with that. And again, we'll give you that 3% referral commission based on the share price. And it's a really easy handoff, or as an agent, you can decide how involved you want to be in the process, or if you just want our salespeople to run with it, we're happy to do that as well. Another way is we'd love to look at your listings and your off-market properties for potential acquisition. So we are always looking for homes in your area, and if it checks all the boxes, and I'll talk about what we kind of look for when we look for homes, we would consider purchasing that home. And a third way for you as agents to work with us is what we call a sell down, and that's where somebody might come to you and say, you know what, we love our second home here in Bend, but we're just not using it as much as we thought we would use it. But we'd love to still retain some of the ownership. Is there something that you can help us with? So again, if that home checks all the boxes, Picasso would purchase that home outright, allow them to hold on to 50% of that home, and then we would sell the other shares, and then we would also manage that property. That's really a win-win for both parties, right? Because that allows them to still have ownership in that home, pull out some equity, but then for Picasso, it allows us to have a home in our portfolio that's already half sold. So those are the three ways that you can work with us. And the next slide, it just kind of talks a little bit more about, again, earning that 3% referral commission on any of our homes. It's a very easy handoff. The process is very easy. We have been able to close within a week and have your owners in that home that next week. So it is a really easy process for you guys as agents. The next slide, our buy box. So what we typically look for in homes, our sweet spot is really between 4 and 7 million. We have gone below that and we have gone above that, but that's really our sweet spot. But we also look for homes that are very turnkey. So we'll do some light decorating and we'll get it ready for our owners with all of the equipment that is needed for a stay there. But we're not really looking at doing, some, heavy remodeling. And we've also purchased homes that are still in midst of getting completed for new construction. So, we're open to that. But we're really looking for homes that have that wow factor. Maybe they have a hot tub or a great view or something like that, but then also really family friendly homes, right? So you're proud to say you have this second home, but then you're also excited to bring people there to allow them to enjoy it as well. So those are kind of the homes that we're looking for. The next slide is the home our first home in Dancing Rock Loop that we have available. So I have all of the details there on, the whole home price, and then what a 1/8 share is $399. And then I also did include the monthly expense, which is $1,208. So that's the monthly expense for that home. We are going to be doing an open, and Linnea, I will send you on the 9th of February, we're going to be doing an offsite open house, and I'll send you an invitation if you wouldn't mind distributing it to all your agents. That would be great. And then we'll keep you posted on the open house for Dancing Rock. We're not certain exactly when it's going to be ready for to show, but we'll keep you posted on that, and love to have all your agents stop by that. So a couple call to actions for you guys as agents, because I usually get that, how do I get started? So I will send you, Linnea, I will send you this slide deck so you can shoot this out to your agents, and then all of these links will be live. So we do have a Picasso Playbook for agents, and you can basically download it and it will walk you through the steps on how to work with Picasso. Inside of there will be email templates, blog posts, social media content that you can use to blast out information about Picasso and the second home ownership to your sphere of influence and your clients, your database. They might not have heard of Picasso, but this is a great way for you as an agent. You've been working with your clients and helping them with their primary home. This is a way for you to, an additive service to your business and really help enrich their lives by, helping them with a second home as well. So you can download that and get started that way. Then also there is that QR code. And so that will get you signed up to receive exclusive announcements specific to agents about Picasso, any news that we want to share with you guys, as well as markets that we'll be launching. So it's a great way to stay in touch with us. If you scroll down I think there's one more slide. Yep, that's our final slide. So I've included, and again, I'll send that. And then there is an appendix. It just has a Q&A. So if I send that to you guys, there's some more information. But the slide before just has my contact information, as well as Alex and Rob's information as well. And you guys can reach out to us. I don't know how you are on time. If we can open it up to questions, I'm available. I just don't want to, take up too much more of your meeting. So whatever works for you guys.
No, we're good, Kiki. Question here on Dancing Rock, when you talked about it being what, 1,200 a month. Is that for all owners to pay that
That's
same
for,
monthly fee?
yep, that's
Or
for a 1/8 share. That's for a
1/8
share. Yep. So if somebody
they
purchased a quarter,
they-
then it would double.
So they
Yep.
pay $399, and then their monthly fee is $1,200 a month.
That's
Okay.
correct. And again, that includes everything. So taxes, insurance, utilities,
Right.
the whole gamut.
And the reason why, when we started talking, we're used to fractional ownerships. We've represented a lot of different fractionals in Central Oregon, people who know Mount Bachelor Village and the Seventh Mountain, a number of different places. So our brokers are used to that. They're used to selling fractionals. They understand it. They have clients who are interested in this sort of thing too. That's why I thought this might be a good fit. And the idea also that if they have someone who's interested in something outside of Bend, the fact that they can get a 3% referral is a really good thing. So
Yeah.
Does anyone here have questions? If you do, please feel free to unmute your mic or put something into the chat and I'll pass it on.
Yeah, I would say that our agents are pleasantly surprised to learn that, you know, the referral kind of works really like any common referral and across the country or across, you know, even in, you know, in globally. So yeah, they're pleasantly surprised about that. And again, you know, it can simply be a handoff to our salespeople in that area, or you know, they can be as involved in the process as they'd like. We want to work in conjunction with you guys and be your partner.
Yeah, as much as we can legally do too, because of course we can't represent people outside of our state, but we can obviously refer and maybe keep in touch with the agent who's representing them in Spain and purchasing out there or wherever else that you have property. Anyone else have questions? If so, I'm just kind of looking at everybody, and if you do, please just feel free to unmute your mic or put something into the chat. And if not, we'll be following up. Like I said, Kiki will send me all this information and I will pass it on to you. And obviously her contact information is there as well. And so right now you may not have a client who's in the market for property in Maui, but knowing that there is this option, it looks like the type of properties obviously that they are investing in are high-end properties that might fit for some of the clients that you're working with yourself. And as you guys have probably figured out since you've opened up an office here and are representing Central Oregon, and that what used to be like Dancing Rock, that used to be a house that was around 700,000 and now it's 2.5 million. Well, maybe not 700,000, but still it's what's happened in our market. Things have just definitely escalated.
Yeah, a lot of the markets, and we're seeing that as well. So yeah, I mean, this is a great way for, you know, your clients to, you know, even to get into the area, you know, with this co-ownership, you know, to see if they even want to be in that area, right? It could be a stepping stone, and then they might want to sell their share and they might want to buy a whole home with you. So there's that opportunity as well. Or people who are on the fence about co-owning because of all of the management that goes behind it, you know, that's helpful. And then, or people who, you know, would maybe could afford a second home, but now this puts them into a different tier of a second home. So there's really, you know, quite a great opportunity. And we would love to see you guys at the happy hour. That's pretty much slated. I'm just waiting for the invitation. So Linnea, I will send that to you. And then once we have information on when Dancing Rock will be open, I will send you that additional information. We'd love to meet you guys in person, and we look forward to working with you and your clients.
Thank you. If no one else has questions, we'll say goodbye to Kiki and her group, and then we'll get going on Skyslope. Any questions? If not, thank you, Kiki. I really appreciate the information, and hopefully we can do a lot of work together.
That sounds great. Thanks so much again for the opportunity, Linnea. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, everyone, and let's get going on Skyslope. So I'm going to put this up here and again, chat a little bit about what's going on, because I know with the added cost now connected with zip forms, using that platform, just everyone understand that our Oregon forms are produced through Oregon Real Estate Forms. It's a separate for-profit company owned by Portland Metropolitan Association of Realtors, and the Eugene Association of Realtors. We all have to pay $89 a year to have our subscription to ORIF forms, which is different than how 45 of the 50 states operate. 45 of the 50 states, the forms are produced by the state association and are used as a subscriber benefit without additional costs. And so that's kind of the nature of what's happened here. I mean, ORIF has been in existence for over 25 years, and they started off producing, for those of us who are older, remember, we had our forms on paper. They were in triplicate, and so we write off our offer, we rip off the top sheet, then we'd be able to give a copy of what was signed to our client, and then another copy goes to the office file. That's how ORIF kind of started, and now everything is online. Now the main platform which hosts our forms for years and years has been Zip Forms. Zip Forms is it's a main hoster of real estate forms across the country. So they host the forms for pretty much all the different states. What has happened is the National Association of Realtors for many, many years was paying, as part of our annual subscription and our annual dues payment to the National Association of Realtors, they had contracted with Zip Forms to augment the cost of hosting the forms for all realtors across the state. That contract ended the end of 2021, and NAR opted not to renew. Now, what has happened in the last couple of years is Zip Forms was bought out by Lone Wolf, which is actually owned by Zillow. And so I don't know all the politics or whatever happened that made them elect, that National Association of Realtors elect not to continue on with hosting the forms, but that's kind of what happened, or not paying for that, that fee. But now, for all of us who wish to have our forms hosted on Zip Forms and use Zip Forms, which is the platform we're all used to, you could still do that. But now there's costs connected with it. And if you tried logging into Zip Forms, you discover that. In the meantime, there are other platforms that host our forms. And Skyslope, back when I was on the ORIF Board of Managers, we started discussing having forms posted by Skyslope. That was a couple of years ago, and they got them on board about a year ago. And in the last probably 3 months or so, the Oregon data share forms, that's our listing forms, are now hosted on Skyslope. So now we have our entire forms library that we utilize on a regular basis hosted on Skyslope. And so for those of you who haven't used it, but are now thinking, I'd rather go this direction because we provide as our broker, as a brokerage benefit to you all, Skyslope for free. I don't charge anybody to use Skyslope, and since you can access your forms here now, it's more people are discovering that this is a great place to go. So I just wanted, and I have talked about this before, but I want to kind of step you through using Skyslope and how you can access the forms here. So when you log into Skyslope, and if you haven't logged in for a long time, the first time you do, or you may push that button that says you forgot your password, then you can renew and check in. And if you still are struggling with that, please let me know and I can help you with it. But if you go across the first page, this is the dashboard, you will see our logo at the left side, your name on the right side. Your name gives you access to adjust your account. So if you go into your account, you can adjust things like how you want your notifications on what's happening in Skyslope. For instance, I have by default set it up so every 3 days before your listing is due to expire or before your deal is scheduled to close, you will receive automatically a checklist of the things that are still missing from your file. Or again, if your listing is expiring, just a notification that's going to happen. Let me go back here again. You will also see here this little lovely face right here. If you click on that, you will go to a second page, which is the Skyslope support team. These people are here at Skyslope 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they're headquartered in Sacramento, California. They speak perfect English. They're very, very responsive. So if you just scroll down, you will see there's tutorials here talking about, I'm an agent, help me with this. Here's something about Skyslope forms, help me with that. And here, Skyslope Training. So from the very beginning, if I'm not available, and again, I'm happy to help you guys one-on-one if needed, but these are tutorials here that may answer a lot of questions. There's also this chat button right here. You can chat. And not sure to start, you can always click here. But here, if you keep on scrolling down further, here's are the support team members, and at the bottom, you will see here a phone number, and there's also emails. Email number here, so you can reply to the email, all that. So here's a phone number, and they do man it, like I say, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I just wanted to show you that there's a support here, and they will help you with all aspects of it. Let me go back here again to the main homepage. You will see here under Access Archives. I've spoken with a number of you who are concerned about the DocuSign contract. You know, the fees have gone up a little bit on that, and we have fewer people who wish to participate as a company contract. We will have at least 15, which is good. But if you're concerned about losing all your files that are saved in DocuSign, they are here under Access Archives. Once we close out a file in Skyslope, they are here. So all you have to do is start typing in like an address, like say Cultus. So here's all the Cultus Lane, Cultus Lake things. You will only have your own particular contracts in here. But I have access to all of them, obviously, but you will have just your closed files here. So you can always click on them, pull up your documents. They are here. Let me go back here again. Cancel contracts, these will be your dead files. So anything that you have that is dead, it is filed here. So you can always find what happened with all those multiple offers we had on that offer, where they're all here. And again, the same way, you can pull them up that same direction. But we're here today to talk about forms. So if you go up here to the very top where it says Apps, and you click on the Apps button, you will go to Forms. If you click on Forms, the first time you click on Forms, it'll take you to a page in which you have to say what state you're from and what association you're with. When you do that, it'll, and then you have to order to access the ORIF forms, because remember, we have to pay for that, and they verify that you've paid for it. You have to put in your real estate license number. That's the Oregon real estate license number. At that point, you will get access to that. You can pull up the light. And if you question on how to do that, this is what that page kind of looks like. So I can add an association. See, I have pulled up the Oregon Data Share forms, the listing forms, the ORIF forms. I've also pulled up the RMLS forms. I can pull up other forms as well. If I happen to be a member of the Columbus Realtors or the Greater Tulsa Association of Realtors, all these different places across the country. And as Skyslope has been spreading as a wonderful transaction management tool, it's getting more and more places, more and more states recognizing it, more and more associations are signing up for it. But anyway, these are the forms that I have here. I can add them in, and once I add them in, they're in my library. Okay, so here's also my profile, and I would recommend you fill out your profile as well. Your name, your contact information, your license number, your MLS code, and again, the name of your brokerage, all that sort of stuff. The brokerage license number, this is important because this is, Skyslope will pull this information over to your templates that you set up as well. So let's go here to files, and this is how you get started in it. So since I'd already registered and already pulled up my files together, when I log into forms, it skips that section and it goes right here to my deals. So I'm going to say I'm going to create a new file. And in this case, I'm going to represent the buyer. Now, if my buyer happens to be a trust or other entity, I could click this box. I'd write in the name of the entity, and then I write in the name of the person who signs on behalf of that entity. So in the case of a trust, you know, it could be, you could have one or two. Often a lot of people will have two contact people who sign on a trust. That happens a lot in our things. And so you would just, you know, do whatever you need for that entity, or remove them. Or if they're not a trust, you can just have, say it's see Joe Smith, say Joe Smith at yahoo.com, something like that. And another contact, Mary Smith msmith@yahoo.com. Now, say I had, so I'm just starting my file right here. Do I have a property yet? I can import the MLS data. So say I wanted to pull up MLS data. Let me pull up something really quick. I'll pull up one of our listings here. Just needed to get the MLS number. Say we're going to be writing on Fairway Heights here, Eric's listing. Copy. So I'm going to pull in the MLS information and see it pulled in right away that information from MLS. So I'm going to import it. So now it pulled in the information on Fairway Heights into my file here. And you can name your file by the name of your client. The default is the name of the address. And so it's however it works best for you. So now, do you want to start one of your templates? Now, I will, yes, write it up, all cash, 2 weeks closed. Thank you, Eric. Yes, I would love that. Okay, so, and I'll explain templates in a little bit, but you can set up a template just like you used to be able to with zip forms, the same sort of thing. You would have on your templates the stuff filed that you would normally fill in, your name, your contact information. Are we always doing a home inspection? Have all that stuff filed. If not, you know, you could put it all separate. But I'm going to say I'm going to set it up because we're going to do it without these templates yet. We're just going to start from the beginning. So let's do a create. So now I got to pull in the forms I need. So it's pulling up all 153 forms. I don't need my listing forms. I need just the Oregon data share forms. Excuse me, not those. I need the order forms. So 101 forms here. I could start by typing up here residential, and it will start pulling up what I need. Residential sale agreement. I know I need that form. So now it's been added. I need another form here too. Next form I need is the disclosed limited agency for buyers, because this is Eric's listing. This is a listing within our brokerage. I need the buyer's form added. So now you can see at the bottom I have 2 forms added, and I can view what they are. The residential sale agreement, disclosed limited agency agreement for buyers. I also think in this case I need the townhome plan community event. So I need those. Those are the forms I believe I need for this purchase. Now I'm going to go to the next button because I have all 3 forms here. Next button. Here's the forms. It kind of looks a little bit like zip forms, doesn't it? So now I can add additional forms if I decide I need. I can now apply my template if I wanted to do so, or I can just pull them all up separately. And see, by default, things pulled in from MLS because I pulled the data in from MLS. So Eric's information pulled in here, my information pulled in here, including my license number because I have put that up in my profile. Eric's information is not here, so I would have to pull this information in. I'd have to click some of these boxes, buyer exclusively, seller exclusively. My buyers are here. I still have to pull in the seller's information, you know, all that stuff, and say his sellers, and I don't know who they are. Sorry, Eric. I'm sure you could tell me, but I'm just going to say John Seller, and I don't know that. So John Seller. Okay, so Joe Smith, Mary Smith are buying from John Seller this property, and I think this listed for $1.4 million. So I'm just going to put in a nice $1.5 million. And we're going to do earnest money of $15,000, as Eric said. So, you know, we were filling out this whole thing like you would normally on any sort of purchase agreement. You put in your sales agreement number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, personal property. Anyway, you fill all this out. Now, if you had set this up as a template for you with certain things already filled out, such as the fact, And Eric wanted all cash. Yes, we will do that. Anyway, so I'm going to save and exit that. Excuse me. Go back into here. Now, if I want to get ready to prepare a signature, my envelope is getting ready to go. So we need to have Joe Smith and Mary Smith need to sign. I don't need to sign. If Eric needed to sign, I could have him automatically receive a copy after Joe and Mary sign, but I wouldn't want to do that myself. I would rather have no action for all of these people. I want to review the file after Joe and Mary sign it. But if you want to have it go automatically to them, you can do that. Next. Here's where the forms pulled right into DigiSign. So as we're used to seeing how well Zip Forms works with DocuSign, the forms here in Skyslope work extremely well with DigiSign, and it auto-populates where your clients are to sign. Same sort of scenario. If for some reason something is checked that I don't like, say I don't want this to be signed here, I could delete that by just clicking on it and deleting it. I can edit that or just leave it as I want. And you can see it's marked everywhere it should be marked for my clients to sign. And say I'm happy with everything here and I'm ready to send it out. I now hit this button to save. I can write in a message for my clients. Please review and sign where indicated. Contact me with questions. And I'm going to say send for signatures. And now it's been sent. It's that easy. Questions on how that works here?
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
Colleen?
if you're not ready to sign, you've prepared your document, how do you get back to the frame that says ready to sign and auto-populate?
Oh, you go back to the forms here. And now you will see that this file that I put together is right here. So you can see I have my 3 forms in here. I have 1 envelope already ready, but they're all here. So I can go back in here anytime. I can add additional forms. I can upload documents. For instance, say I have an addendum in here or I just have some exhibit of some sort that I want to include in here. I can pull it up a document from my desktop of any sort, upload it in here. Say I want to upload something here. I'll just go to desktop and say I'll pull this in here, a new referral agreement. So I'm done. And now that's in here. And so again, I can edit this, I can change things, I can prepare it for signature just like I would anything else. Do they need to sign? Yes. And because this is a PDF rather than anything else, I will have to manually put in where I need them to sign. And it's just spinning right this second. Does that answer that question there, Colleen?
Yes, so I didn't see that prepare for signature down below.
Oh.
That's on every page, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you.
So, yeah, Karen, to answer your question about having to do that on each individually, that's what's so nice about this now is you don't have to do that with DigiSign. If you go to the form section, when we incorporated the order forms about a year ago, a little over a year, and it was like maybe a year and a half ago when we put them in here, part of the beta testing was to make it so that it could auto-populate all the signature spaces for your clients, which worked out really, really, really well. So when we did that, so say I'm ready to sign this one, prepare signature. Next. And it should populate exactly where all your clients are going there too. And for some reason this is spinning. I'm so sorry it's doing that right. Here we go. So it just pulls in, and now the spots for my buyers to sign are all set up there the way they should be. So yeah, it's super easy, Karen. Absolutely. And what if you need to edit the documents, cancel what you sent and resend it? Then you go to your envelope. So let me go up here to go back into my apps button. I can go back to Skyslope, go to DigiSign, and I can go to my documents that have been sent. And again, I never sent that out, but it'd be in here. And if I need to edit it, I would hit this button here for editing. Does that answer that question, Kathy? Yeah. So you can always go back and forth, edit. The thing that's so nice about this system is that once you actually have put it in here into the forms section and you've gotten everything signed, say you're now ready to manage your transactions. You want to create a transaction. You can pull it up from an address lookup, but also Skyslope forms. This is the one I just put together here. I'm going to select this one, and it auto-populates all that information we already put in here, including the sales price. If we had additional stuff in here, it would populate that too. But it's time savings. And the same thing is true when you get to a point of you having your transactions here. So say I was in, any of these random, say I'm in here, Sherry Hilton's deal here, my documents here. So I'm in my documents section here. And you can see this is where, if you're used to Skyslope and you've been in here a bunch and you know you have your checklist, all the information on your transaction, your contacts, your commissions, all that sort of stuff. The documents is where things get pulled in. So say you had something that came in here, say this repair addendum, that they had missed a section to sign. You can then click DigiSign. After you click here, DigiSign, and it'll go right to DigiSign for you to forward on back to your client for signature. And I hit the next button because it's here in my section here. And I can add who needs to sign, all that sort of stuff. Do I need to sign, or do I just need to receive a copy? In my case, I'm not signing. I just need to receive a copy. But say I need to have my client sign. If I had my email address in here, I could just easily go that direction. I know a lot of you guys don't utilize this. You just forward your documents to Emily, and that's totally fine, or Emily or Brittany. They will take care of loading everything in here. But this is just one of the things that, the way the system works, if you get it all going, it's so easy and so straightforward. Other questions on this? Anyone else have questions? And again, I'm happy to go over this individually, but the benefit of Skyslope using this is it auto-populates where our normal forms are signed. Yeah, it works a lot like DocuSign and Zip Forms together. Again, the benefit, when you go into Skyslope instead of Zip Forms, Zip Forms has a lot of confusing pop-ups. It's always trying to sell you upgrades and additional tools that you really don't need. And DigiSign, and utilizing Skyslope here, the forms are here. It's just, you're only going to see the forms you need that you've pulled in to your pool. You're only going to see the deals that are your deals. You can edit You can modify. It is very user-friendly. And again, if you have questions, call support or use the tutorials, or call me. I can help you with it as well. But it's just a super easy transactional thing. Yeah, it does auto-populate where signatures are needed, so you don't miss any, absolutely. And then once you've applied a template, so say you're really happy how your first residential purchase agreement set up, that one I just did with Eric, which had the townhome, it had the residential purchase agreement, and it had the buyer's agency as all part of it. So I really like how I did that one. I'm going to save that as a template. I hit the button Save as Template. So all the stuff I had clicked on that to begin with, from the fact I had my inspection, my home inspection box checked, my contact information fully completed, filled out. If I save it as a template, it will, and I apply it to my next deal, the things that don't ever need to change, such as my contact information as a buyer's agent, will remain. The seller's information will not stick, and your buyer's information will not stick. It will be, but your basic templated information, such as your contact information, your license number, your complete address, all that sort of stuff will stay. It's really helpful. It's time savings. And then, of course, you can always manually put them in each time you write a deal as well. But I always say if you have something that you can use, just feel free to use it because it's time savings. Yeah, any other questions on this? I know some of you have been using this and been learning how to really make it work. It's a great tool. And again, you don't have to deal with zip logics. If no one else has questions, then let's go back to haves and wants. Anyone else with haves and wants that we didn't get a chance to? I know we got through Jean and we got through Colleen. Any other haves and wants?
I'm looking for houses to sell.
A house to sell?
To sell anything. I've got a range of clients looking for stuff, and the market is so low right now. I know everyone's experiencing it, but my buyers are so discouraged and they're going elsewhere.
What are they looking for?
I've got a new buyer who's looking for something on the west side, even possibly Southwest Bend, but she's a little bit on the picky side. She needs it to be a rambler, and her idea of a rambler is, single level, 3-car garage, updated, interior like quartz, a little bit secluded. So anyone have anything like that for under 1.2?
1.2. And on the west side, right?
Southwest is fine as well. She really, she missed out on that Polish neighborhood over Southwest Bend by the water. I forget the name off the top of my head, but yeah, looking for something nice on the west side for under 1.2.
We're getting a lot of
car garage.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of contracts right now within our brokerage on the new Polish subdivision on near Shevlin Park area, but those are 2 stories, I believe. So, yeah. And the lots are fairly small. That's typical of the new subdivisions now. Smaller lots, 2 stories to fit square footage. I'll see if I know something that's coming up, Daniel, and I'll reach out to you if I hear something coming up.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Anything else, people? Any other haves or wants?
I have a have and want, or I have a have.
A have?
Or no, I have a want. I have a buyer up to 900, prefers downtown or west side of 97. Out in the Shevlin area is great. Century Drive, Brayburn is great. Sagewood. Anyways, just a retired couple that needs something up to 900, and we need to find something before the end of February. So if anybody's got anything coming, down Brookswood, probably not too far past, I don't know, probably past Powers. They don't want to be too far out Brookswood. So if anybody's got anything, let me know. And then I've also got a client that's looking for a lot, 1 to 5 acres. They might go more, but up to 300,000, and they prefer some utilities on it. So they'll look out in Sisters, Pell Butte, Three Rivers South. So if anybody's got anything coming up, let me know. Thank you.
Yeah, Tina, something to think about. You might want to reach out individually to Sherry Hilton. I haven't heard of that, but she often has new listings coming up off of Brookswood area. So
Okay.
she works in that area really well. And then all of a sudden I hear she's got a new listing. And so she may have something in the works I haven't heard of yet.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Yeah, Danielle?
Sorry, I have one more. I've got this cute young lady who's looking for a condo. She really wants the fire hall. That's her dream condo. But anything coming up in the market, right about 500. She could probably go up to 600,000. And currently she's renting an apartment. And I think the owner of the apartment took out an air conditioning unit and has left a gaping hole in her apartment. So she has to live in a coat.
Oh no.
I know it's terrible circumstances. So I'd love to find her something as soon as possible so she can resume some sort of a normal life. You know, I think
to be down.
cardboard to block the outdoor air, but some of those days were really cold in December. So, you know, so I had a big heart for her and I would really love to find her something. So
Does she have to be down? Does she have to be downtown, Danielle? I mean, because you know, fire hall is downtown.
Yeah, she would prefer downtown, but really any good condo on the market right now would be great. So
I know.
For a condo in a desperate situation.
I know that Jackie and Shireen have a condo coming up on Cascade Courtyards. I think it's going to be under 300,000. Yeah, but it's a whole different genre. It's a whole different feel than like downtown, that area, but it's going to be under 3. So, I mean, Jackie and Shireen, you could reach out to them. Or did that already hit the market? I don't remember.
Well, then she'd have a little bit of room to fix it up to her liking as well. But she's a professional. She would love to work downtown and live in, fire hall, of course. But
yeah, Cascade Courtyards is off of 4th Street, and so it's a converted apartment building, so it has that kind of apartment feeling, but it's condos, so you do have ownership. Yeah,
I'll reach out. Thank you.
Well, may I have one question for you on the Skyslope and DigiSign? What about adding the MLS contract for sellers to sign? Or is that form in there? Or
yes.
I mean
yes.
Also the Flex, is that in there too for filling out?
Yes, that's the other library. Let me show you real quick. That is the library. Let me go back here. So let me just go back in here. Say I want to go to add forms. So I had pulled up the ORIF forms here, but if I just go here, the Oregon Data Share forms, those are all the listing forms. So you will also see here the KC, those are Klamath Falls, but here's the MLSCO. Those are all of our listing forms, including a legal lot of record, advisory, the listing contract, the photography license agreement, short-term rental, all that. And then the actual combined, for instance, the residential, the ORE farm input, land footprint. Here's the residential input form, the one that we all use for our input. There we go, the Oregon data form.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, they're all here now, and that was the last holdout because we had the ORIF forms in there for over a year, but these have only been here for a few months, but they're all here now. Yeah. Any other questions? So if you decide you want to go this direction and you need additional help, please feel free to reach out to me. Or there's also all those training options which I share with you, the tutorials and the help support people. Again, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So if I know some of you guys, I get some emails and texts in the morning that are filled out like at 2 a.m. You guys, I don't know how you do it. I'm hopefully asleep at 2 a.m., but I know some people are working at that time. And if you have questions and you need immediate help on that, those people in Sacramento are there 24 hours a day, and I bet the 2 a.m. people don't get a lot of traffic. They'd probably love to talk with you. So anyway, any other questions? If not, looking forward to having a great rest of January. And so far this year is starting off really great. Let's hope it continues on that way. The key for us this year, as we all know, it's lack of inventory. So any listings we can possibly get, work on your clients, people you've sold properties to 7 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago. See if they're interested in cashing in. You never know, on their equity and maybe moving, or maybe just want to sell the home. They're ready for something else. Anyway, it's an opportunity. And if nothing else, I think we're done for the day. Thanks, everybody.